Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. This is optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Titans Return Leader Class Autobot Blaster and Twincast. For the package, you got a really cool image here on the front of Blaster featuring that Headmaster / Titan Master kind of gimmick, and then on the side here, you have a little bit more of an extended look at it, showing his body and the head separating. On the front, you got the really cool Transformers text with the Generations logo right there. Come around here to the other side, you got the little Autobot comet, and then on the back of the package, it says to decode encrypted Decepticon transmissions, Autobot Blaster links with his Titan Master partner, Twincast. Twincast is a walking cipher, a bot with the most advanced cryptography programming in the universe. He may be small, but he's one of the most powerful Autobot weapons. And then you have it in a couple other languages. Then you got product shots here of Blaster in his robot mode. Then you have Twincast, his boombox mode, as well as his city form. And then on the side here, you can see that the Titans Return figures are compatible with all the different classes of figures. So you got like a Leader, Voyager, and a Deluxe, and the heads can be mix and matched with any of those size scales, which is really cool. And then you have advertisements here for Titan Master Loudmouth, Deluxe Class Blur, Voyager Class Sentinel Prime, and of course, Leader Class Optimus. But for the packaging, that's about it for the guy. So without further ado, let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the new Titans Return Autobot Blaster as well as Twincast opened up and out of their packaging. And in addition to the instructions, you also do get his collector card, which features a really nice full-scale image of Blaster like what we saw, kind of cropped out on the actual package. But here we get the full look at it. And he really does look pretty cool. You got the Titans Return text there, Autobot Blaster. You come around here to the back. And the new thing that they're doing with these collector cards is, again, they're putting the text specs, which really is very cool. You can see the red section here is Autobot Blaster, and then the blue section is going to be Twincast. So when you look at the strength, speed, intelligence, and fire blast, you can see that strength is just an 8 for him, but when you combine it with Twincast, it pushes it up to 12. His speed is a 2. With Twincast, it pushes it to a 3. Intelligence is an 8. That can go up to 12. And then Fire Blast is a 7, which can go up to about a 10. And then you can see that 20 here is like the max. And that's Fort Max right there, basically. So really cool. I absolutely love that they're doing this. Again, like I said in my Power Master Optimus Prime review, it kind of gives a purpose to having these collector cards. But for the figure, here he is. Now, he does come with a couple additional accessories. As you can see, you got his little gun right here, and then obviously, here's Twincast. I'm just going to set him off to the side for right now. So you do, if he'll stand... again, my little table here is rounded, so I do get a little bit harder over time standing these smaller guys. But you do get his gun, which is pretty cool looking. I'll come in to kind of take a closer look at it. It definitely has a semblance to the original G1 version. I mean, you got the longer barrel, you got the scope on there, you got this big giant hole on the G1 version. You don't necessarily have a hole, but you do have a rounded section here, which it is pretty cool that they actually kind of carried over some of those looks. So I do really, really like that. And you can see just how big the G1 Blaster really was. And again, we'll take a closer look at the comparison between the G1 version and this guy here. But here's also a little tiny, it's not really a tape or anything. It is an accessory that it can be used. As you can see, you can take a Twincast, you can put him in there, then you can take the gun and you can put that there, and you can have that kind of flying around as if it's a little hovercraft or something, which is actually pretty cool. There really isn't a spot for Twincast here in boombox mode. Now this you can actually take, you got a button right here, you push that and that opens that up, and you have a little tape deck section that you can put that in, and then you can close it just like so. Or if you remember a few months back, we took a look at the Titans Return Legend class, the buzzsaw here. And this was basically our first look at a Titan Returns figure. So you can take this also, take this out, and this can actually also fit inside there as well. Now Blaster doesn't come with any of those, minions that we're used to him having, but we are getting them, so you can do something like this. And that's actually really cool. I mean, it goes in there very nicely. You can pop that, eject that, But that is actually really cool, and like I said, you do have this, which can be used as a little hovercraft. You can use it inside there. It also does come in handy in Blaster's city mode. So you do get a couple of those extra little tiny accessories. Now for Twincast himself, coming in here to take a closer look at him, what you basically have is a little tiny version of Blaster. That's kind of cool, to be totally honest with you. And one thing that I'm noticing is that of the 3 different Titan Master figures that I personally have played with so far, every single one of them has completely different parts all over them. The heads are different, the arms are different, the torso's different, the thighs are different, the legs are different. Obviously, the face on the back here is different. I mean, it's really quite impressive. So bringing those in, here we have them next with Emissary, and then, of course, this is Apex. And all of them have different molded parts throughout the entire thing. I'm really very impressed with it. I mean, the chests are different, even the thighs are different. I thought maybe they would reuse the thighs, but they didn't. The lower part of the legs are all different. With Twincast here, you can actually see sculpted in there the speakers in his legs. I mean, really very cool. You can also see that his chest is very much done like Blaster's is. I mean, really very, very cool. I like that they actually got some nice paint there on his face. You got silver on there, and then you got blue actually painted on his eyes. So pretty decent level of detail. The head does rotate, so you get a nice range of motion there. The arms here are on a little bit of ball joint, so you can see you can kind of get them out a little bit. Not a heck of a lot because things are rounded up here or squared off, so you can't get a full ball jointed kind of look, but you can rotate those up, and then again you can kind of flex those forward and back. The hips down here, getting this is a little bit tricky actually to get this arm to move around. The hips here move forward and back, and then the legs are attached. These are all one molded piece, but you do have a joint here at the knee, so you can get a nice seated kind of pose with him. Now to transform him, you just put the arms down, rotate that around, and boom, there you have a Twincast in his head mode. And honestly, I'm not 100% certain who that's supposed to represent. It definitely doesn't look like Blaster, and then with the main body, the helmet kind of comes around, and I'll show that here a little bit, and it goes over there, and it gives it that more, classic kind of look, but I'm not exactly sure who that's supposed to represent, so that's a little bit strange. But setting that off to the side, putting that over there, for the full Blaster, the body though, this actually does look really cool. It definitely evokes that whole Generation 1 Blaster figure. You got a oversized boombox kind of thing right here. You got the nice speakers, you got the tape deck right there, like you can see here, you got the little button that pops that open, everything. Really very cool though. You come around the back and it's just a whole bunch of just random stuff. Now you do have a port right down here that you can take this gun and you can peg that in there for storage. If you don't want to use this little bit right here as a little hovercraft, you can do something like that. But all in all, I mean, real nice sculpted detail on the back here. Everything looks really nice. You got very nice sculpted speakers right in the very front. You got a handle, obviously. Now, for comparison, here's the new guy. And here's that Generation 1 version. And obviously, you're seeing that the G1 version isn't quite as long as the new guy, but you do have a lot of similarities. I mean, you got a very similar color here going around the speakers. You got the red for the body, you got the yellow for the actual tape deck, you got the clear section right there, nice Autobot logo. Obviously, again, you got the handles right there. I mean, in general, I'm really very happy with this, and it's one thing that I honestly didn't think I was going to like all that much, but it just reminds me so much of this Generation 1 toy that I'm really liking this guy. Now, the one thing that this guy has that the original one doesn't have is an actual city mode. Now, to get to that, first we're going to just take these, rotate these sections down just like so. You go ahead and take these little sections, rotate these out onto the side like that. Take the arm section here, we're going to rotate this up like so. Do that on both sides here, rotate that around, and then rotate that up just like so. And you kind of take these. Now, the instructions tell you to kind of keep these bent at an angle like that, but this just kind of flops down there. Yeah, I mean, you can kind of see that it flops a little bit down. So the instructions tell you to kind of, like, this one's actually perfectly fine. This one, though, for some reason, just straight up flops. So I'm not 100% sure, but I actually don't mind leaving them all the way down like that. That way, you can actually create a bit of a seated area for a Twincast. You can put him kind of like right there if you wanted to. But yeah, I don't get exactly, I mean, I guess because these are kind of on angles, so maybe putting it up like that keeps that straight on. Let me see here. Let me put Twincast right there. Yeah, see that kind of, actually I can, yeah, that's why they want you to do it that way, because that's a flat platform that it just kind of works a little bit better. But like I said, for some reason this kind of, I mean, it kind of feels like it wants to grab something there, but it doesn't. I could probably fix that myself and just use some, you know, pledge with a future shine or something to kind of fix that. But that's the way that it's supposed to be. And then you take these bits, you rotate these out just like that. You come around here to the back section and you have these little bits, which is really cool because these are like little radar dishes or computer programs or something like that. So again, you do that on this side as well. Rotate that back, come around here to the back section here, lift this up, bring that around, keep those down like so. Then you take his gun, you want to open this section up, and that comes all the way down. And then on the inside here, you got some clear pieces, which are probably hard to see, but you want to lift this section up, and then you got another section that lifts up right here, which has a bit of a target on there, which is pretty cool. So you can take this, and honestly, I prefer leaving this down because it lets you have him kind of sit on there. So you can take this, and by that I mean Twincast, so you can take that, you peg that right in there. There's a little hole on the inside there that you peg that into, and we're going to take Twincast off of that section, and then we're going to extend his arms, put that there. And then, like I said, if you leave this little section down, I mean, you can move it up. You can see that bit right there. You can have him just kind of sit right there, looking like he's controlling it. You got a little, like I said, target screen on there. You can have him controlling this gun or something. I mean, it's really pretty cool how that actually looks. Keep that kind of flopping around. Again, I mean, I kind of like it being up like that, to be totally honest with you. I mean, that kind of bugs me that you can't do that. And then you take this section right here, and then you got on the top here, you got some actual slots that these little bits are going to slot into. So you just bring this in, give that a nice little push, and there you have Blaster in a city mode, which oddly enough kind of looks like a cross between Power Master Optimus Prime and, you know, some blasters of like the front sections right here kind of look like Power Master Optimus Primes, especially like with these ramps coming down here. And again, these ramps will hook onto a Fort Max, which I'll do in a little update video or something like that. But you got some nice detail here. You got danger printed. You got like a little helipad kind of thing there. All in all, though, I mean, really happy with how this looks. It's really quite cool in terms of an overall look on this. And then again, you can take the extra type master figures that you have. You got pegs all over. You got one here, 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 here. You got them up here as well. You have one kind of hidden right back there. You got some here on the side, so you can take this and you can put them right there if you really wanted to. You know, push that down. That's kind of bending there, but you got a little hole right there. Well, you actually got two holes, I'm sorry. So get that pegged in there. There we go. Give that a nice little squeeze. So you can do things like that, and it just adds to the play value. And I really think that just in general, kids are going to be very happy with that. And, you know, even with some of the individual type master figures. Now here's Crash Bash. I mean, you can and you bring out. So I mean, the play value I really think is there. And yeah, the original one did not have a base mode like this, but I think this turned out really very nice. I'm absolutely really very happy with it. And honestly, like I said, I didn't think that I would. It's so weird, but compared to Power Master Optimus Prime, this guy's really actually becoming one of my favorite of the new leader figures. And I did not honestly expect that. That's something that really caught me off guard. Now, to transform him into his actual robot mode, we're going to take all this stuff out, get him out of the way. We're going to bring this up, bring that down, then bring that back down, locking that into place, bring that up just like so. Take this piece off, fold these pieces back up and around, just straighten out those arms like that, then come around here to the legs, take these little bits, lift these up because you need to rotate these legs around, kind of get things out of the way. So we're going to spin that around, bring this up. Now this can be a little bit tricky, but only when you're going into the blaster mode. So first you want to take this, detach this, you got this whole little hinge section right here, which kind of accordions down like that, and that just pops right back on. It's little peg kind of things right there. So get that, come on, get that back on there. So So bring that up like that. So you got that little hinge thing right down there. You got a similar situation down here with this. So you got that bit, tuck that away, and then you rotate this around, bring this around like so, and this whole section is going to lock in there, giving a nice square kind of look. So you got that, then you rotate that around just like so. Bring that section down. Again, you do that on this side as well. So you got this little hinge piece right here, hinge this up, and then you lock that into place there. Bring that up like so. Rotate this down and around, and then you rotate this around, and then bring this around. I'll take this, rotate that, then bring that down, and that kind of frictions in. Bring that down, rotate this to the front, then you come around here to the bottom section. These are a little tricky because I don't have fingernails, so there we go. Bring the little feetums out just like that. Kind of straighten all this out. There we go. Straighten out his little legs. Bring this down. You got the little fist right here. Rotate that there. Do that here as well. Rotate that down like so. Now in the package, you guys may have seen it. It leaves the handle all the way up at the top, and that's actually incorrect. It does rotate back just like so and kind of hides things. Now we're going to take Twincast. We're going to put him in his head mode just like so, and then you come around here. You got the little port section right there. Just take that, peg that in. You got the little slot section right back here that kind of lines things up, and there you have him. Now when he's in this mode, the head's kind of locked. You can't really rotate it. You have to bring out the helmet to be able to rotate the whole thing because it's kind of locked here at this plastic bit. So you can leave him like that. It doesn't look like anybody, like I said, you know, but with all these interchangeable parts, you can take this off. Here's Apex, so again, you can put that in there. You can put his head on there if you really wanted to, or hey, and if you got Fort Max, you can do that here as well. All of these are interchangeable, so you can do that. Now, unfortunately, unlike the original G1 toy, you don't get the a change in the chest kind of graphic, which I know some people miss out on, but I don't mind it all that much. It was a cool kind of gimmick, but I never really bothered with it all that much. So we just take this guy, put him right inside there. You got this section, you bring this back, you got his little helmet which comes out, and it just goes across the top of his head. Take that, put that back, and now you have Blaster, and he's looking a lot more like we are used to him with his really cool looking G1 head sculpt. And I like I said, could not be happier with this guy. And this guy really did turn out terrific looking. This is such a nice homage to that original G1 toy that I honestly think that's why I love this figure so much. Now, people have complained because, number one, he's a headmaster or a Titan master in this. And in the original series, he never was. I get that. He's also really large. I mean, he's a leader-size figure, and here's a deluxe-size toy. So, scale-wise, it's blown out of proportion. But again, it's the way that the G1 toy was. I mean, that's so hilarious. I mean, I honestly don't know where I'm going to put this in my display. I might actually put this, you know, like in a masterpiece display. I mean, he is just that big, and yeah, he's got the whole headmaster gimmick, but you don't need to take that off or anything. I mean, he's got the little visor, and honestly, it looks a lot like that G1 toy did. Coming in to take a little bit closer of a look at that, I mean, you can definitely see that G1 toy sort of look. Now, that's not how it looked in the cartoon, and, you know, maybe Takara will give us a cartoon accurate looking head on here, but all in all, I am quite happy with it. Yes, he does have a little bit of a backpack sort of thing. It doesn't go down any further than that, but I don't think it really, you know, sticks out too much. I mean, it kind of fits with his butt right here, I guess, but I mean, it just really does look good. For comparison here, coming back just so that we can kind of get a full look, obviously this is the new Titan Return version. Here's the G1 version, and one thing I will tell you is that the head on there is a custom head, so it does give it that, you know, more cartoon sort of look, but they did a great job with this. I mean, starting off with the head, obviously, it is the kind of G1 look. You got the nice detail here on the upper part of his shoulders. I love how they even, like, got these stickers with the arrows. They recreated that here on them. You know, the colors work nicely. You got the black for the joints right there, black for the hands. The upper and lower part of the arms are red. You got the yellow chest. plus the red body and everything. The legs are very, very similar. I mean, these are pieces that you don't necessarily see in either his city or boombox mode, but they're there to kind of replicate what you have here. He's got printed on details right below his knee, much like the stickers were there. You got red and blue bits right there, much like what you have there. You got black feet. I mean, it just, this is a great representation of this toy. The only thing that's really missing, I guess you could say, are the little buttons right here. But I mean, does that really ruin the figure? No, I don't think so. You can see size-wise, he is a little bit taller than that old toy is. So again, he is really large, and I don't necessarily know where I'm going to, as a collector, put him in my display. I do think Masterpiece would probably work, honestly. At least as a placeholder until we get a legit Masterpiece one. But this guy really does look really very, very cool. Now, for his articulation, the head, as I talked about, it is unlocked when you rotate the helmet out, so you do get it rotating around nicely. The shoulders here are on fairly soft ratchet joints. You can move them around. I don't know if and you can kind of hear it. You got a little bit more secure ratchet joints moving in and out. He rotates at the elbow, bends at the elbow as well. He doesn't rotate at the wrist or anything, nor are the fingers articulated. They just move in and out as part of the transformation. But with having that elbow swivel right up there, you know, kind of helps things out. Nothing at the waist or anything. The hips do move forward and back. This piece does move forward so that you can move it that far forward. And then it goes about that far back. You got ratchet joints moving in and out. You got nice swivels here at the upper part of the thigh. He bends here at a pretty solid joint here at the knee. And then he does have ankle tilt. You can kind of bend that out like so and get some wide poses with them and get the feet down on the ground, which is cool. And then they can also move forward and back a little bit. So nice range of motion with this guy. Lots of articulation. You can get some good poses with him. He does have kind of a locked kind of situation going here with his hips. I mean, you can put about right there. I mean, you can bring it in. I mean, it's really meant to be about there for his hips. So you can get him standing fairly nicely when the legs are spread out a bit. So all those poses that you could want, you could really do. He's not overly limited by those ratchet joints in there. They actually did a pretty good job of spacing, you know, the little gears in there. Really, I am really just happy with him. You can open this up, you can take this piece, you can slide that in there if you wanted to, and that can still store there in his actual robot mode. Just so happy, honestly, with this guy. It's so weird for me to say that he is more of a favorite of mine than, you know, that Power Master Optimus. It's just something about this, though, and honestly, I think it's just because of how G1-ish this guy looks. I really didn't expect him to be my favorite of the first wave of leader figures, but he's become that. Now, for transformation, to go back to a city mode, we're just going to take this, we're going to rotate this around, and then tuck the hand in, bend that down just like that. Do that on this side as well. Tuck the hand in, bend that down, and then these little pieces here, we're just going to flip these forward if I can. If not, I pull out a little laser thing or razor thing, so get that out just like so. Go ahead, take this section here. Now, people have asked me, like, especially on Optimus Prime, if you can leave this back. You can. As you can see, you can rotate that back like so, but when you get it into trying to tuck this in underneath here, it doesn't really fit all that well. You have to be able to bend it to get that helmet in there. You can't flex it all the way back. You got to be able to go like that. So at least on a blaster here, you can't do that. So then you bring that up like so, bring that up, and you kind of just fiddle with this, lift these bits up just to get them out of the way, come around here, tuck that down, rotate these around. We're going to open this whole section up like that, rotate these legs around, open that up, fold that out like so. Can I get that? We're going to keep it like so. Bring this up, then angle, bring that around, open that. Oh, I went the wrong way. So, and I don't think it really matters which way you put that. Put that like so, bring that down, bring this back, this little back section here, you bring this forward like that. Do that on this side as well. Bring this forward just like that. Keep that flat like so. Straighten this all out, and I mean, I get there's probably a more specific way that this is supposed to go, to be totally honest with you, and keeping it looking a little bit better. So I guess it does, I mean, personal preference wise, I mean, it's your figure, so do it however you want, but as long as you ultimately get to the goal, I guess looking like this, it doesn't really matter all that much. So you can put that down, and there you have him basically in his city mode. Again, you would open this up, you would put the little cannon thing right there. So pretty simple in terms of doing this. Going back to his blaster mode, we're just going to lift this all the way up. I say blaster, I mean his boombox. So we're going to then take this, you're going to rotate this around like so, get that out of the way. So yeah, you probably want to keep that in a proper configuration. I just fiddle with that around like that. Bring this, where's the little tab? So you want to have it where that joint is facing forward, and then you bring this up. We're going to rotate this back and around and angle this. There we go, angle that up. That'll lock into place. Then you bring that up just like so. Keep that nice and straight. Bring these down. This will accordion in as well, and then you come around here to the back section, and you have a little tab that sits up that you bring that in, lock that into place just like so. This can be a little bit tricky though, like I was talking about. You got a little hole right there that this little piece that hangs out has to tab into. So when you bring that down, it's hard to see because you're bringing this up, and you got to make sure that you line that up. Otherwise, you can see it still pushes it a little bit forward. So you have to manipulate that to get that all the way in so that you got a nice clearance kind of thing going right there. So all right, here we go. We're going to accordion this side in, detach this, fold this section down, lock that into place, take this, rotate that around, bring this section in like so, bring this up, kind of put that there. We're going to then bring this down. Again, where's that little, oh wait, I had that the wrong way, sorry. So you bring that around, and then make sure this little piece right here, you're tabbing in to the back. Keep that, there we go. Just like so. Then again, make sure that you're careful with this, lining that up proper so that it fits in there, something like that. There we go. And then, yeah, see, it pushes it out if you don't have it put in there exactly where it needs to be. So that is a little bit tricky to do. I constantly have to fiddle with it until it gets to where it needs to be for the actual friction joints here to kind of lock in. Otherwise, like you see, it's not going to line up perfect. So let's see, like that. You do have to fiddle. There's fiddling involved. And then, yeah, and that in the process of doing that, you may detach this. So it can be a little bit tricky to get that properly done. So, oh wait, do I have it? Alright, so once you get it all tabbed and everything, that's what you're basically left with. And then now you have him basically in his boombox mode again. And again, it's probably something that most people don't even know about anymore. I mean, newer fans of Transformers probably have no idea what a boombox is. You can come around here to the back. You can actually take this, like I was saying, you can peg that right there if you really wanted to. And then you can just have a Twincast kind of chilling here. They don't have a lot of posts throughout the actual figure itself in this mode, which is kind of weird. But like I was saying, well, dropping them, a lot of kids probably have no idea what a boombox is. So it's probably a weird sort of toy. I don't know how many young kids are actually going to be into this. I know for me, I'm absolutely loving it. I really do think that this thing turned out great. Boombox mode looks good. It's exactly what I would kind of expect. City mode is new, but I think that turned out pretty good. It seems to have a little bit more functionality in terms of the city than even Power Master Optimus Prime's did. I think this guy just came together a little bit better. And then robot mode, I mean, again, exactly what I would want in a blaster figure. I think this guy is definitely a sleeper figure, and by that I mean I don't think a lot of people really had this guy on their radar, and that's unfortunate because he is a good toy. And the entire package, I really think came out great. So without question, I couldn't recommend this guy enough to you. So far with this whole Titans Return line, I've taken a look at Fort Max, Power Master Optimus Prime, and Blaster, and I haven't been let down yet. So if this is a guy that you're interested in picking up and adding to your collection, he is available right now at Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the new Titans Return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please like and share it. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you never miss a future review of mine. And as always, until next time, I'll talk to you later.